there. Welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. And I was all calm and collected, and then 5 minutes before I was about to come on live to you, I suddenly remembered, because I had to change routine this morning. I hadn't watered the patio. I'd watered everything else, but in a completely different way, and I did one bit then had to do something else. So that really messes with my head. I just sit here thinking, I didn't water the patio. And that was because I suddenly saw the water trough for the wildlife was empty. And I was like, I know it's been incredibly hot today, but there should be something in there. And I was like, oh, I didn't water the patio because that's when I do it. And I'm in disarray with my hair. I've washed it. I haven't put any oil on it, which stops my hair curling up. So I've just tied it up. Funny do. Yes, so we're going to do a fun live today. We're also going to be doing shout outs for those who come on, and also other people that have been supporting my channel. I can't do you all, so don't be sad if I miss you out this time, but there will always be another time. So let's do some shout outs first of all. And I like to share channels that give inspiration and creation, and also, of course, channels that support my channel too. And before I start, I do want to remind you, I was starting a long time ago and then I forgot about it, a calendar of your birthdays. So if you want a shout out when it's your birthday, then tell me the date of your birthday and I will write it in. I'm not very good at remembering to do this. What date are we on now? We're on the 19th. So I have Miss Glitter's birthday. Shirley's birthday was the 14th. Joe Hupp's birthday was the 7th. Annie's Kitchen's birthday and Crazy Catwoman's birthday is on the 31st. So if you've got birthday, May, and I haven't said your name, then obviously I don't have your birthday. So we have Mr. Jimmy's birthday on the 7th of June, and he was born the same year as me. And in June, I also have Light and Love 73's birthday. So that's all I've got for June. So if you've got a birthday coming up, and do let me know so I can write it on. Don't wait for your month. Give it to me now, and I'll try and remember to do that. Remind me, guys. Sometimes say to me, birthdays. Oh, why don't I make a birthday? Let me write down to make a birthday, like oh, I have got a birthday thing. Wait, I have made a birthday thing. This. And there's a big celebration in my house today as well. Any of you who know anything about English football, Crystal Palace won yesterday or day before. I don't know what day it is. I am live. They won, and Mike is a huge fan of Crystal Palace. He's been supporting them since he was a little boy. So he's got his little shirt, and obviously celebration's been going on here. Let's check the chat. Glitterworld saying June 14th. What did I say? Did I say the wrong day for you? I've got May the 14th. I've got May the 14th for you. I wonder why I've got that then. Okay, June the 14th. I'll put Glitterworld. I know it's Shirley. Okay, there we go, Glitterworld. So I will shout you out in June. See, I get some people's birthdays wrong. I had Blue's wrong for a long time. I don't know. I think maybe in a comment someone said happy birthday one time too, and it wasn't. So I just put that down. So, yep, do share, guys. You going to do anything special for your birthday, Glitter World? And guys, do let me know when you've got a big special birthday as well, if you want to share that. So let's start with, I've started a new book on followers of my channel, those who really support my channel, and I'm going to prioritize these people when I don't have much time to watch videos. And as I say, I always promise I watch any of your videos in full. Sometimes if I'm rewatching your lives, because my time doesn't suit me to watch most of your lives, so I rewatch your lives. If I watch your lives, I won't often play if it's a long one in one go, but I will pause it and then come back to it. So there. Glitterworld says I'm working on that day, but tarts are ordered. Excellent tarts are all ordered. Okay, so yes, I'm starting up this book so that I can prioritize those that are always commenting or in my chats or so on and so forth. So I've also started in here a list. I do a seed giveaway every month, and I do have it in this book. Oops. I've got a page per month since I've been doing it. When did I start my seed giveaway? 2022. And since then, I've put up someone's name every single month on my community post. So that's a lot of seeds. So instead of, I'm keeping it in this book, and then when you send me your emails or your address to send them to, I do keep that in the book, so I've got information. And I also put what seeds I sent you. So if I see you growing seeds on your channel, if you forget to give me a shout out and say, oh, these are the seeds that you gave me doing a long time ago, I do know what the seeds are. But I thought it would be a good idea to do them on one page. Well, obviously more than one page, but sheets, because sometimes I think, oh, have I done that person yet? And rather than flicking through the book, it's easier to see here, such as, let's see, Shirley got her seeds in May 2022. There you go. See, it's quite good. And also surnames. I've got surnames. I don't share those, but I do have your surnames as well. So things like that. So I've got pages started of that. The person who was on my community post in May to say you've got free seeds hasn't come forward yet. So you've only got to the end of May to come forward if you do want those seeds. And then, as I say, I'm making an up-to-date list on people that follow me, or I know follow me because they comment, and then I'm going to prioritize and then come on your channels. So let's say, for example, I'm going to mark where I've done shout out on this for you as well. Jeannie's Point. Jeannie's Point is my first shout out of the day. I would also like to shout out Steve and Tina Jewell, because obviously Steve and Tina Jewell, Steve is always more often than not on my lives. So it's nice to give Steve a shout out when he's not here. So it's not just because of that. Glitter World obviously is here. So shout out to you. Blue Self-Reliance. Now I've got a video coming up where I shout out Blue Self-Reliance because she gave me an awesome tip, something I was desperate for and no one else seemed to have the answer. She gave me the answer and it seems to be working quite well. So what is that? Well, you've got a video coming up, so look out for that. I'm going to do a shout out for Ashley's Allotment Adventures today. I'm going to do a shout out today for the NDT show. So that's Nathan. Don't want to prioritise anybody. So as I say, if you're not shouted out today, then you will be. We have Creative Laurie. Do check out Creative Laurie. I feel she needs some new people coming on her channel. So check out Creative Laurie. That's Lauri. Tony Rad. Check out Tony Rad. And we'll do one more today. My Mountain Home and Kitchen. So go over and see Callie over there. So they're my shout outs. And as I say, send me your birthdays. You can just drop a comment somewhere or email me or however you want to do it. And then I will try and remember to do it as a regular feature. Maybe the beginning of every month, once a month, I'll do all birthdays in that month. Possibly, haven't decided yet, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's head over to today's quote corner. And as promised, I will be doing new ones. I will be starting to make new ones on, I think, Wednesday. I've been changing all my boards around because I've been using this small one here for what to do each day, as in I must do that this week. But sometimes I like to do other things on that board, like if I go and study, I like to use that rather than wasting paper. And I've got one whiteboard there and one behind me. You can't see behind my chair, there's one. That is now my weekly plan, which was on the small board. That's my weekly plan. So I'm planning ahead, which makes me do things that need doing. And then that board now is just YouTube. So I did have on the one behind me YouTube stuff, as in future to make type things, and things I'd taken off my phone, off my camera on my phone to edit. But now all that's on there. It's very nice and tidy. It's lovely. So we've got what to edit for new beginnings, what I've downloaded off my phone to edit for new beginnings. We've got Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, things to edit there. I've got a lot of narration things to do for that channel, so I've got a list of those there. I've got my Everything Dance Your Mentor channel. I've got all what I need to film there. I need to hurry up and do some more dancing, filming stuff, like physically dancing, because it's extremely hot here now. So I haven't got many more weeks before I really can't do it. And I do it early in the morning, but I haven't got much more time. So I've got 5 that I really want to get done up there, but I've got a feeling a couple of those might be two parts. And then I've got some lives coming up on Everything Dance Your Mentor. I do them about once every month. I've got one coming up on Friday the 30th of May. You won't see it's up because I don't have a scheduled time, but I've planned it on my calendar, Friday the 30th of May, and that is going to be the next episode live, me talking about my dance journey, how I became what I became. So it's the next part of that story. And then Friday the 27th of June, I've got another live on that channel, and that's the second type of live I do on that channel, which is Q&As. So dancing Q&As, or acting or exercise, any questions you got. And stemming from that, I am doing a video soon. I've got to film it on that channel, which is people saying they've seen a lot of exercise videos, both professional and amateur, and they are sure a lot of the moves are not safe. So I'm going to talk about that. Warm-ups, exercise, and even positions that aren't safe. If you don't exercise, I could still be talking about positions and movements you do. So I've got to film that. Then I've got a list of things I need to do. I'm starting to make notes of Vlogmas. I think that's a bit early, but for me it's not, because I can do little chunks every day. I haven't revealed exactly what I'm doing for Vlogmas yet, but it's going to be live every single day on this channel. So even if I've got a live on another channel, you will also get a live on that day on this channel. No set time, but the Monday and Wednesday when I do lives on this channel, that will be Vlogmas on that time, Monday and Wednesday. And it's an awesome idea. No one's ever done it before. It's very Christmassy, and that will be Vlogmas. And I've said before, I'm doing true Vlogmas. It was invented by YouTube to make people video not only up to Christmas, but also the rest of December. True Vlogmas is every single day of December, and it should be live, and it should be Christmassy, and obviously after Christmas it's holiday time and that kind of thing. So it should be related to Christmas, and it should run for the whole of December. That is true Vlogmas. I've never done Vlogmas. I want to do it properly, and as I say, I have a plan for that. So I've got that to do, slowly writing notes and getting that done. I've got a list of things I need to narrate. I've got quite a lot of videos I need to narrate. And then I have a list still, which I've already had here for some time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday lives. And when I finish this one, I have to title the next Monday one. So that's why I've got a board there. And I'm like, oh, what shall I do next week? And then I semi-planned that. So that was that. Did I do my Monday quote? No, let's do Monday quote corner. That's what got me talking about it, to say I've got it on my board to do. And what I'm doing tomorrow is something I know so many of you love me doing. We are going down to the local dump. We are salvaging and dumpster diving. I haven't yet come home with nothing. So I know you love the videos of it. So we're going tomorrow. We've got a few bits to take. And what will I find? I nearly always come back with flower pots. Nearly always. But let's see what I can find. I'm hoping something I've never found there, but I really need, is one of these old people's grabby sticks. You know, if you can't reach something on a shelf, or you can't reach down to pick something up, like little grabby sticks. I need an extendable one, because when I go dumpster diving, you can't get in the skips. And sometimes I see something way over there and I really want, and I can't get them out. So I'm hoping to find a grabby stick at the dump to use at the dump. And then I'd probably keep it in the car so I remember that I've got it each time. The only other thing I can do is go in, see if I can find, there must be out here somewhere, you get kind of shops where it's wheelchairs and walking sticks and frames, walking frames and all that for old people, like aids. So I might just bite the bullet and see how much one is. You can get little children short ones. That's no good. I need a proper long sturdy one. So that's something I'm hoping I will find, but we will see. Okay, so today, Knacks, Hacks, Facts and Stats. We'll talk about cakes today. Cakes. The first, excuse me, I nearly had a hiccup again. The first tip is warm jam up. That's jelly to the Americans and Canadians. Warm jam or jelly up before spreading it on a sponge. Then it doesn't soak into the cake. So that's the first tip. Okay, second tip. For a different cake topping, cover a newly baked sponge with chocolate peppermint creams. Return it to the oven for about a minute for it to melt, and then spread evenly. I did have a recipe for an after eight cake. I think you all know. Do you all know what after eights are? They're like thin wafer peppermint cream type things. And you actually put them stood up all around the outside as well. The next one is an unusual sandwich cake filling is a layer of orange marmalade covered with a layer of peanut butter and topped with orange icing. Yuck! I really dislike peanut butter spread. Oh, I love peanuts. I cannot stand peanut butter. Blech. Oh, that sounds so sickly. Okay, last one today. To make sure of a straight edge when trimming a cake, place the cake on a flat surface and using a sharp serrated edged knife, cut with one movement using a cake ruler as a guide. Now, the best way I find for doing that is if you've got a turntable or a Lazy Susan, something that rotates, and just keep your knife then, spin it round slowly. That is the best method, I would say. Okay, what should we do now? Let's do this. And yes, we are still on the bird book. This week we're talking about types of nest, and I got some picture examples for you as types of nest, and I really like this. I find this so fascinating to find a nest and work out what it is. And it says, building the nest takes great time and energy. A pair of woodpeckers may take a month or more, working several hours a day to chisel out their hole. Thrushes take up to 3 weeks to make their solid cups, whilst finches finish their delicate constructions in a week or so. Tits may face a huge job if they have to pad out all the space into a large cavity or nest box. With practice, it's possible to identify nests after the occupants have abandoned them. Pay particular attention to the shape of the nest, as well as the materials that have been used and the general pattern of construction. Do not be surprised to find string, metal foil, or paper in the structure of the nest. Some birds will incorporate some sort of litter. Then the first one is the blue tit's nest. Let me show you the blue tit's nest. That's this one here. This one. That's the blue tit's nest. There. And it says blue tit's nest made from moss and mixed with pine twigs and grass. It has adopted the oblong shape of the nest box it was built in. Now we've got a spotted flycatcher's nest, and that's this one here. This one. And that one says, spotted flycatcher, a shaded place with a good view is favoured site for this rather untidy loose nest of woven moss, roots and grass. It is lined with feathers, hair and dried leaves. The exterior is often decorated with cobwebs. Then we have the greenfinch, which is this one here. There. And that says the greenfinch nest, the deep cup of twigs, grass and moss lined with fine roots. It's usually built high up in thick shrub, often an evergreen. And then we've got this one here. Yeah, this chaffinch nest. I love the way they're so rounded in the middle. Chaffinch nest is made of grass and moss lined with roots and feathers. It is decorated outside with lichen. Then we have the swallow's nest. Now we have a lot of these And I always know because they always have some feathers in and they're always a bit untidy looking. Oh, paper's fallen from over there. The swallow's shallow saucer-shaped nest, lined with feathers, is composed of mud, usually mixed with grasses and other plant fibre. The nest is often situated on a ledge in sheds, garages, or other open buildings. Then we have this little one here. Oh, isn't that sweet? Can you guess what that might be? Little tiny one, little small one. That's a goldcrest. It's a goldcrest nest, suspended like a hammock from conifer branches. The deep cup-shaped nest is made from moss and spiders' webs and lined with feathers. And we have this one here. Hold on, let me check I've got the right bit for you. There, this one under my fingers. That looks like it's been in a nest box because it's square. This one. This one is the dunnock, the neat cup nest of plant roots, grass, leaves and moss is built usually in a thick hedge on a foundation of twigs. The nest is lined with wool and hair or sometimes feathers. And then we've got this big one under my fingers. This one here. There. That one is wren. The nest, often found in a cavity in a wall, is feather-lined, hollow ball constructed of moss and grass. And then one more, we have the one here at the bottom. I've seen ones like that as well with all those little bits in. And that one says, long-tailed tit. The feather-lined mass of moss is bound by cobwebs to twigs and covered with lichen. So I do love finding them, and I also like to see if there's any eggs left. I like to figure out those as well. But nest, I love finding nest. Okay, let's move on and let's do this. Okay, so joke of the day. This is still, can you believe it, from my after dinner speeches book. 3 old Frenchmen were sitting in the spring sunshine, bemoaning the effects of old age. The first, a mere 60-year-old, complained, "As a lover of music, I find I cannot now appreciate the full range of sound. My hearing has lost its acuteness. Ah, my friends, deafness is a terrible thing." The second man, some 10 years older, said, "All my life I have had great joy from an appreciation of painting. But now, on my visits to the Louvre, my eyes cannot see the delicate shades and tones. Loss of sight is a far more frightening failing." "Ah, my poor friends," said Jack, a very old man, "you have not begun to understand the true meaning of old age. Yesterday I awoke alongside my mistress, Fifi. The sunlight was playing on her body, and I was filled with desire. I woke her up. 'Fifi,' I said, 'I wish to make love.' 'Oh, you old fool,' she replied, 'you only did it 5 minutes ago.' Ah, my friends, the memory, it fails." A little bit of a rude one, but funny nonetheless. Okay, let's do a bit of catch up. Okay, so what to watch? So let's talk about first. Let's pop it up here. my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. So let's have a look at what's been posted. The last thing posted was on Friday. I post on Fridays on that channel, and it was a compilation of some of my quote corners from the past. So if you enjoy the quote corners, I've put a whole load of them together, and it's a video just full of different quote corners. So if you're into positivity and want some good quotes for that, go and take a look at that with some lovely music accompanying those. And then prior to that, I posted again on that channel, because I posted it on this channel before, my fun challenge to you, and to get a shout out of your channel on my channels by taking part in the channel challenge. So it's to use any music from any of the intros of my 3 channel lives and do something to that music. So go and take a look at that if you're interested in that. You can enter as many times as you like. Each time you enter, you will get another shout out. So enter 6 times and 6 videos, you will get a shout out. And then prior to that, I posted a zucchini bread recipe using the least ingredients, the quickest zucchini bread, and you can make it, of course, into cake or muffins as well. And then coming up next on that channel, we've got another one of my old newspapers, and this is actually the newest newspaper that I'm selling, is from 1989, and it's from the 6th of May. So if any of you have a birthday on the 6th of May, I have an old newspaper from 1989, and you can have a look at it there. And if you want to purchase it, you can purchase it, along with, I've got a whole playlist. I think it's called the playlist Curiosity Collector, and it's got all the old newspapers that I'm selling, so you can have a look at each one. Okay, moving back onto this channel, for those of you who haven't had a chance to check up, today I posted a tour of, it's a market street, if you like, market stalls. I've called it Tour of St Andrews Street, and also the castle area in Limassol, Cyprus. So if you like looking at markets, and there's jewellery at the markets and souvenirs and all that sort of thing, do go and take a look at that. And you'll like the walkway. It's got all umbrellas hanging up. Very pretty, and some very pretty things there that I show you. And prior to that, I did another goat video. Goats coming down my driveway and roaming in my village. And then prior to that, I did a video, more gardening words, terms and meanings. And there's footage that goes with that of my garden. So you can look around my garden, but learn about different words used in gardening. And then coming up on Wednesday, I'm doing a video I think a lot of you have been asking for. I randomly talk about this in lives, but I've compiled it all together as one video, what to plant with or next to what other crop. So there's herbs and there's vegetables. And I tell you what, never to plant next to something. So there's a lot of plants people know of what to plant with something, but it can actually kill a plant if it's near another vegetable, for example. So coming up on Wednesday's companion planting growing guide, what to and what not to plant together in your garden. And I'm hoping a lot of you will find that useful. Do please share that video, because I know a lot of people would really like to see that if they were aware of it. And then on Friday, I've got a video coming up, my fruit tree food forest, and how to stop ants on your fruit trees. Now, this was a tip given to me by Blue from Blue Self-Reliant, and I show you what she said, and I show you the results of it. So do take a look at that. Okay, let's have a quick little interlude, before we move on to our next thing. Okay, so let's have a little look if I can find the right place at this. So pastimes was always games. Always games, and they would invent games to play to pass the time. And remember, in the old days, they didn't have much light, so a lot of them were word games or things you had to think of or say. So let me see. I've been trying to come up with the sort of games that they would talk about, or they would discuss things. So this, for example, talk about things that scared you as a child. Things that scared you as a child. Well, on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, I've got a playlist of my childhood memories growing up in the 70s. And I won't go into it because you can watch the full story of it. But there was a particular teacher that was a big problem for me. So there's an episode of that. I've probably named that episode something very specific. Let's put up the Tranquility channel in case you haven't found it. Let me see. I've always got my Word docs up, which is where I grab things from. So let's see. Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Let's put the link up to that. Copy and comments, paste, post. So Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and the playlist is, I think it's my childhood memories growing up in the 70s. And as I say, there's a school one. I've never been a child who was scared of spiders or dogs, or I say dogs. My mother made me scared of dogs. I wasn't scared of dogs. And she'd put all her worries onto me. So there's a dog, it might bite, and that kind of thing. Not that I went to touch a dog or anything. We were brought up very much of never touch anything. I talk about this in one of them as well, why we were brought up never to touch anything. Not just for like dirty. Don't touch things. And all her friends who had children, like babies and toddlers, they would empty their house, like the low shelves and their ornaments. And my mum said, I'm not doing that, because I'm going to teach my children not to touch. Because if you go into someone's house with a toddler, someone who hasn't got children, they got ornaments out, you should just instinctively not touch things. And in shops as well, we weren't allowed to touch things, not at all, not touch anything. And the dog thing, my mum didn't like dogs, so don't touch the dog, and it's a dog. And I was not scared of dogs, but apprehensive, let's say, of dogs. And I had a friend at school, like middle school, junior school, and her dad was a policeman, but he must have been in like the dog section, because he had the police dog in the house. It came home with him, whether it was theirs and they trained it as the police dog, but they kept it as the pet. And I went in the house one time, and I remember she had an armchair, and the dog came in, it obviously waited to come up to me, and I started sort of not running around the armchair, but keep going round to avoid the dog. So the dog thought it was a game. And she said to me, if you stand still, it just come up, it might smell you, it won't lick you or jump up at you because it's fully trained, but it just wants to meet you. And she said, I'm sure she just said this to make sure I did what she said. She said, because if you keep running around fast, it's going to think you're a criminal and then it will attack you. It was a lovely dog. So from that day, and it was a big dog, they had two, because I had one and then that died, then they had another. Bruce was the first one. I don't think it was an Alsatian or German Shepherd. Can't remember. It was a big black dog, hairy dog. I can't remember what type of dog it was. And then the second one, I think, was a lab, the second one. But after that, I mean, it was a big dog. So I'm apprehensive of like dangerous type dogs, you know, and little snappy dogs. But I can't say I'm scared of dogs. That was just put into me. What am I scared of? Like heights, people say, oh, I'm frightened of heights, or I've got a phobia of heights, and then they climb up a ladder. If you've got a real phobia, you cannot do it. You can't go up and go, oh, I've got a phobia of heights, but I'm going to give it a go. If you've got a real phobia, people just say what they're scared of is a phobia. Phobias and what you're scared of are two completely different things. So I'm not frightened of heights, but I have trouble. Like, let's say you climb up a ladder, I'm fine with that. I can go as high as you like. And then you have to step over something, say onto a roof or something. I'm all right with that. I wouldn't like to stand up and walk around a roof because I'm not stupid. But for me, it's the getting back over this bit to go down. So if you like bridging a gap, maybe it's not the height. I could go up a ladder. You pay me money, I'll go up as high as you like. It's not that. Although now, because of my brain damage, my perspective isn't correct. So if there's a cliff edge there and I'm standing there, but I can see there, I can see sort of it's going to be a drop. My brain tells me, even though I know I'm not, my brain tells me I'm here. My perspective is so out. So I can be standing here and I don't have a fear of heights. It's purely my brain damage. I will get that wobbly legs. But I'm not frightened of it. It's because my brain, for some reason, tells me I'm here when I'm not. And here I get all like wobbly jelly legs. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. So that's not a scare. What am I scared of? Scared me as a child. I was going to say the only thing I'd be apprehensive now is if I walked along the street. You don't get that in Cyprus, but in England you walk along a street and there could be a big gang there, that kind of thing. But because I didn't drive and I lived in London, I know all the tricks of if you walk along at night. So you have your key. Let's say this is my keys. This is the bit that goes in the door. You walk along with it like this, with the bit that goes in the door in your fingers. You just walk along. If someone comes, just get their eyeball. Deal with the consequences later. But that, and they can't do if that is your front door key. Whereas they have done people for carrying an umbrella or similar things like that. I know if it's raining or it might rain. No, but a key, they cannot do you for carrying a key. So you get their eyes. And of course, if it's the mail, you knee them where it hurts most, or poke the eyes and vulnerable parts. Just get them. You've got time to get away. That, don't go into this kung fu or martial arts. No, just slow them down because they'll be in pain and then go. But that wasn't as a child. Oh, I know. As a child in England, in the 60s and 70s, there were public information films, and these were shown to school children in school. There were some on the telly, but this is where I got most of them from. So from probably the age of 5, 6, we were, you know, like you're going to see a film in the school hall or something. We were always taken in to see public information films. And anyone who grew up in England in the 60s or 70s will tell you about these public information films. and they were horrific. They were meant to scare you, to stop you doing things. I could talk for ages about this. Let's briefly tell you some of them, the themes of them. One, for example, was don't play on railway tracks, because in the old days they weren't live, but in, I say, more modern times, when I was a child, the railway tracks were live. So they had to inform you that you can't go and play on railway tracks. And they would be horrific films. You would see a child go and play on them and a train come and the consequences, let's say. And you'd see the police people, like in the film, go, oh, is that, like the parents be, oh, is that my son or whatever? They go, don't look, or his arm's over there, that kind of thing. They were horrific, and they were for children. Another one I remember more clearly was don't play near electric pylons. I don't like electric pylons now. They hiss and they spit. I don't think they're good for your mind. I know they're thought to give cancer if you live near them and all sorts. But all the while you're using your mobile phone. That's worse for you. But anyway, and I remember this one specifically because sometimes there'd be that saying about don't play by pylons, and there would be several different types of film about it. And the one I remember was children flying a kite. And they were flying a kite in, I can't remember if it was a town or in a field, but it got caught, it broke off or got caught, and it was on the pylon. The kite got caught on the pylon, and a child goes up to retrieve it and obviously gets electrocuted and he falls to the ground. You saw it all. And I can't remember after it, but there was always a big message like, da, 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 it will cause death, and really harsh. As I say, it was about 6 or 7 when you started watching these. Another one was, in more recent times, they called it Stranger Danger. And this was, I think children were playing in a park, maybe football or on the swings, can't remember. And one goes off to retrieve the football. Maybe they're playing football, and one goes off to retrieve the football. And this man comes out the bushes in a Mac. They always wore Macs in my day, like pervs. They always wore Macs. So I learned as a child, if they weren't wearing a Mac, you'd be all right. Like in films when you had the goodies and the baddies, and you could tell just by looking at them who were the goodies and who were the baddies. So they always had a Mac on. And he's saying about, do you want to come and see my puppies? It was always come and see my puppies or my kittens as well. It was always that. Man in the back. If he asked to come and see his kittens or his puppies, you knew not to go with him. And then the child gets in the car, and yeah, there was that one. There was another one about not to go off with strangers, and I think a child was walking home from school and a car would pull up, and he says, maybe, what's your name? And she says, no, oh, yes, it's your mum that said, can I pick you up? Because she's in hospital and I've got to pick you up. And she gets in the car. So again, that was the same thing. What other ones were there? I think if you look on YouTube, you can probably find a lot of them. There were more nasty ones as time went on, to do with AIDS and rabies. Oh, yes, there was a big thing in England when the Channel Tunnel was going to be built. There was a big thing about you could get rabies. And there was all this raw footage of supposedly someone who really has rabies. And they're saying, don't like sneak pets abroad. And you saw raw footage of this man who was actually, he had rabies. It's a nice subject. And he had rabies. There was that one. And then you also had the Child Film Foundation, and they made longer films, and it was things like to say what happens if both your parents go into hospital, or if they have a car crash, or what happens to you. But instead of informing you, they often made you think, oh gosh, say something happened to my mum and my dad at the same time. Or in those days, the film I saw that it was the mother. When the children were at school, I think it was a boy and a girl, because it was always boy, girl, 2.4 children, mum, dad, boy, girl, always. The mum was going shopping and she got knocked down by a car, and then they say at the school the children are going to go into temporary foster home because the dad is busy working. The dad is busy working. That's how it was. The dad was the money earner, and he came home from work, but he couldn't look after the children as well. That's a woman's job. And it's saying how they're going to foster care for a while, and it's to inform you what will happen to you if this sort of thing occurs. But instead of making you feel, oh, that's all right, then you start to worry, and you're like, so I wouldn't say these things scared me, because I was the child who was, when my nan, my grandma, used to babysit me. She used to come to our house when my mum and dad went out for the evening for an anniversary dinner or something. And she said we could stay up as long as we liked, because it must have been a Saturday, so we didn't have to get up for school every morning. And I used to make her watch at midnight the black and white horror films, the old-fashioned horror films. And my big sister was one who couldn't even watch Doctor Who, and she'd be like, is it all right to look? Is it all right to look? And I'd be like, wait till a really gruesome moment and go, yes. And she'd go, ah! She was my big sister, but I could watch all that stuff. So I was brought up on the horror films. I'd always watched horror films from as young as I can remember. I'd like Dracula, Frankenstein, all those kind of things. So to me, I would say I wasn't scared by these public information films. I would say I found them concern. They gave me concern. As I say, instead of showing children what happens if something were to happen, they just made you think, well, what did happen? It did scare me as a child. I've never particularly liked snakes, but I wasn't in a country that really had snakes. I wasn't scared. I must have been scared of something. I would say the only thing, if I had to say I was scared, was being shouted at. I've never liked shouting or people even getting cross. So I would say that. I do talk about on my channel, Everything Dance Your Mental, where I'm talking about my dance journey. I talk about one very upsetting incident, and it's where the the dance teacher, she got really angry, and in the end I was just like, well, I won't do it then. Not like stubborn, I won't do it. I was like, well, I won't be in the show then, because I just want to calm everything. I've always said, if people just talk to me if there's a problem or a situation, or that's the way you stop gossiping as well. If there's something, come together, talk about it, sort it out, done with. So scared of, my mother didn't really shout. She'd shout, but that didn't bother me. She didn't shout when anything was going to come of it. She'd be, wait till your dad gets home. Maybe I was a little bit worried about that. But it was normally things that just blew out of proportion, or my mum often got the wrong end of the stick about things that had happened, because she'd say, oh, such and such must have done that, or who said it, who told you, blah, 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 and just built up something. Not right, sit down, just tell me what happened and we'll sort it out. She was blame mongering a lot, and then she, oh, wait till your dad gets home. I don't think anything really scared me. I didn't like clowns, but they didn't scare me. I would say it's more what I disliked than scared. I never went on a plane or anything like that as a child, where some children might be fearful of that. Oh, maybe because I nearly drowned twice. I still would say I was scared of the water, but I didn't want to go swimming or like for fun. So I've even today I won't jump in a swimming pool. I certainly won't ever dive in a swimming pool. Maybe that, if I've got to say something. Scared of drowning again. Maybe that. Maybe that. Okay, let's go to a little interlude. Oh, I know. Let's do this. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it? I forgot I had that. My little bubble, I call it, my bubble. Yes, I've called it bubble background. Bubble back. It's not a bubble at all, is it? So do tell me what you like about my lives. I do different types and different things of lives. And I'm like, do you like that bit? Would you rather see more of that? Or the jokes were my favourite bit. I have asked a few times and all I get is, oh, we love it all. Some people like to come for regular features, which is why I do a lot of things similar or the same in variation. Some people like it's all different. So do let me know in the comments what you like in my lives. And is there anything you'd like me to actually talk about? Because when I don't get many people in the chat, because it's a weird time of day for a lot of people, if there's something you'd really like me to talk about or you've got questions, I'm quite happy to sit here and chat to myself half the time. So a theme or something you'd like to know, or just a topic. Would you like me to talk about one thing for the whole live, or I think you like lots of my little questions when I ask, I read like questions, and I love it when you guys all join in as well. I really love that when there's people in the chat and you do join in. Of course, you don't have to be here live to join in. You can always put your answers in the comments below. So today, question of the day is, what scared you as a child? So that's the question for today. I'm going to finish here today. Thank you so much for being here if you came in the live. Thanks for Shirley from Glitterwheel. Do go and check out Shirley's channel. And thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel. Don't forget to share my channels if you like what you see. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out. Until Wednesday, as always, Meraki.